But again, if someone wants to engage in an extramarital affair, they shouldn't be president. So, especially in the environment today where they could be easily blackmailed by a foreign nation, and we deserve to have leaders who are genuine and not phonies. And so many of our leaders exposed in this book, The First Family Detail, are phony.
The book is called The First Family Detail. Ronald Kessler is our guest. All right, let's get to some of those details. Bill Clinton, you report, shuttling in women.
Bill Clinton has a mistress, unofficially codenamed by the Secret Service Energizer, because the first letter of each family is the same, and in the case of the Clintons, the first letter of the code names is E, so they call her Energizer. She shows up as soon as Hillary leaves the Chappaqua home. She'll stay for a week. Agents are ordered not to ask for her ID, not to log her in. Even Clinton relatives have to be logged in and show their ID. Unlike Hillary Clinton, who's so nasty that agents consider being assigned to her detail a form of punishment. It's the worst assignment in the Secret Service. Energizer is very nice to agents, treats them with consideration. She'll bring cookies. One hot day she brought cookies, and she was wearing a tank top. She leaned through the window to give the cookies to the agent at the gate, and he noticed that her breasts are quite enhanced, but very perky. So we have every detail in this book, The First Family Detail.
Do we know who the woman is?
No, the agents don't know, and since the book is about the Secret Service, I didn't feel any need to find out.
All right. What's the story that Joe Biden swims in the nude?
Joe Biden has a pool at the vice president's residence and also at his home in Wilmington, and he swims nude, and this offends female Secret Service agents. And it sort of sounds funny, but at the same time, it makes them very uncomfortable. It's very inconsiderate. It really is borderline sexual harassment, and of course, there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. A number of tidbits in the book, Ronald Kessler, The First Family Detail. You talk about the lack of security. First, let's talk about Mitt Romney. What was going on with his lack of security during this last presidential race?
The Secret Service management has this culture of we make do with less. We're the great Secret Service. We don't have to, we can cut corners. And in the case of Romney, they would not provide enough magnetometers so that people could get into events on time. And so Romney took to giving a speech inside an arena, and then he would go outside and talk to the unscreened spectators. And of course, they could have, any one of them could have been armed, could have taken him out. It risked an assassination. And it's because of the Secret Service's, ridiculous culture of cutting corners. They will also let people into events without magnetometer screening or metal detection screening. It's just like letting passengers into an airplane without metal detection screening. It's outrageous.
You've been you've been inside the bubble. I've been inside the bubble where you're sort of a pool reporter or traveling with them. They won't let you do anything without patting you down every 7 seconds. How do they allow this where they let strangers in to see these events?
It's under pressure from White House staff or campaign staffs. The event's about to start. There's still a line outside. And the Secret Service caves because they know that the management condones this corner cutting. When Bradley Cooper went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner to where Obama was about to speak, a high-ranking Secret Service official ordered agents at the Washington Hilton to just let him into the driveway at the front, which was restricted and secure, and only Secret Service cars were allowed in, and even they had to be screened for explosives. So someone could have introduced explosives into his SUV and taken out the president, and you can imagine the disgust and dismay of the agents who were ordered to ignore all security rules just as a favor to Bradley Cooper.
The book is The First Family Detail. Ronald Kessler, our guest. I have a minute or two left with you, Ronald. This story about Ronald Reagan and the Secret Service and Hinckley, what's that story?
The reason that John Hinckley was able to shoot Ronald Reagan is that Reagan's own White House staff ordered the Secret Service to ignore security rules and let spectators within 15 feet of Reagan as he left the Washington Hilton unscreened. And then the Secret Service covered up this fact, tried to blame the FBI for the assassination attempt. It's coming out for the first time in this book.
Pretty explosive stuff. Anybody have any? Do you when you do this? Do you ask Bill Clinton for a comment? Do you ask Joe Biden for a comment? Do you ask some of these people for a comment?
I usually do. In the case of Biden, I asked for his comment on major issues involving his use of Air Force Two. He's incurred costs to the taxpayers of $1 million since he took office, just for personal trips back and forth to his home in Wilmington. He has a vice president's residence. You know, he can go back a few times during the year, but not several times a week, sometimes several times in one day, just to play golf with President Obama. And here's this guy who pretends to be the sheriff who's going to cut government costs. And I also asked Bill Clinton for comment about Energizer. There was no response.
Yeah. The First Family Detail, you've done it again, Ronald Kessler. It's going to be another great read. The First Family Detail, Ronald Kessler. Thanks for checking in. Good luck with the book.
My pleasure.
7:58 here, Big 550 KTRS, St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center here.